Dawn of the final day. Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up if you want. Today we're jumping into r/Neckbeard stories. Yes, indeed, we gotta continue that Hulkbeard saga. It looks like it's coming to a close. There's only a few more parts left. So, okay, pedal to the metal. Let's make it do what it do. Hopefully, Hulkbeard will get the comeuppance that he truly deserves, but I guess all that remains to be seen. Already he has lost some of his friends in the previous part because he's just endlessly bitching about other people behind their back, which obviously means that he's doing that about everyone to everyone else. You know what I mean? Is that making sense? That is generally how it goes. If somebody's talking crap to you, they're probably talking crap about you as well. And I think people surrounding OP are smart enough to realize that. So he's definitely going to have a downfall of some sort. I guess it's just a question of how big that downfall will be. And of course, I hope that it's gigantic, but I guess we'll see. So let's go ahead, we'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this Neckbeard stories cringe. Hulkbeard, Chapter 5, Dawn of the Final Day. Yeah, that's some Majora's Mask reference. That's a good game. I'm into it. Alright, things were looking dire for everyone's least favorite beard. My least favorite beard is Naruto headband, but yeah, you close. Hulkbeard's apparent plan, if you could even call it that, was to turn everyone against me by complaining every chance that he got, and it had already backfired on him. He'd already lost one of his only friends. Good. Let the hate flow through you. As time went on, his relationship with the people around him grew increasingly frayed. Even more so, as he desperately attempted to salvage what few social connections he had left. Yeah, watch him backpedal. It's beautiful! I love it. I love that you hate it. But first we'll get into the cast. The players, if you will. Captain Clown Show, that is ROP. 22, going on 23, an angry, insecure young man who has by now realized that once he graduates at the end of this year, he will effectively become homeless, trying and failing to figure out what the fuck one does with a BA in English, and growing increasingly fed up with Hulkbeard, even as I begin to mirror his fury. Yeah, BA in English, retail sales? No, I'm playing. You could come teach English in Asia somewhere. That would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? That's the dream. That's the end game for a lot of neckbeards and weebs out there. Even the neckbeard lights, like OP and myself. Broken Ace is a childhood friend and bully. There's not really much to say about him here. So, Hulkbeard is essentially what you get if you cross Bruce Banner with a fedora and approximately 200 pounds of Cheeto dust. By now, he's grown so resentful that he is nearly unable to hide it. Contains so much wide that one might assume him to be a sommelier. Where does the resentfulness come from? Getting kicked out of the D&D game? He quit the D&D game. Is it because OP is dating girls and Hulkbeard can't find anybody to love? Well, yeah, you're gonna go all Lenny from Of Mice and Men and crush the girl's spine or whatever. It's hard to love a Hulk. We also got the Greek, a soft-spoken fellow with the love of all things nerdy and a fear of confrontation. Also had a tendency to lie excessively, either to talk himself up or to avoid confrontation. Monksbane, a walking paradox, simultaneously beard bait and beard repellent, a skilled artist and role player, and at this point in the story, one of my closest friends. Beard bait and beard repellent. That's like, one of those roach motel traps or something like that. They lure them in and then they kill them once they're inside. It's a good plan. Karen Beard is Thespian's roommate. A leg beard, every ounce as self-absorbed as Hulkbeard was angry. Oh, let's get some Karen Beard stories going. Thespian is a drama major who made no secret of his dislike for Hulkbeard. One could not even consider them friends, more like unfriendly acquaintances. Hulkbeard, of course, remained blissfully unaware of this fact until the very end. The other DM is Thespian's ex-boyfriend, DM'd the game between myself, Thespian, and Karen Beard. Oh yeah, we gonna get that story. I'm sure of it. But first, the short story called A Side of Cheese and Wine. Hulkbeard's resentment had reached nearly cataclysmic levels. His fuse became so short that he was basically akin to a walking supernova. His skin so thin that it made tissue paper look sturdy. I am near certain, had he made any effort to contain his anger, he would have inevitably popped like a Red Bull-filled balloon. Oh, somebody pop a Red Bull-filled balloon over me. That sounds delicious. Hulkbeard's true feelings manifested most prominently when we gamed together. I'll be the first to admit that I am startlingly bad at most video games, having the relative coordination and grace of a newborn elephant. It's okay to be bad at video games, OP, as long as you're enjoying yourself. That's all I'm saying. Don't let nobody make you feel a certain type of way about it. If somebody tells you that you're bad at video games, you just say, oh no, what happens now? Oh, fucking nothing? I continue to enjoy the game I was playing. Let's carry on then. There's only one exception to this, and this is the one point where I can and will sing my own praises, and that is in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Brawl specifically? Although I'm not entirely sure why, something about the game just clicked for me. It was the one area of my life where I had complete confidence in myself. I guess that's kind of how I feel about Melee. I would say that I'm super good at like Rainbow Six Siege, but that wouldn't be true. That's a super hard game to get really good at. Not without reason, with the exception of Broken Ace, who I was unfortunately still friends with during the events of this saga, I was the best out of all of my friends. Hulkbeard, in particular, could almost never beat me. And of course, unsurprisingly, he hated that. Even prior to his downward spiral, he would simply never admit defeat. He would always have an excuse, as bad gamers are wont to do. The controller's broken. Yeah. Most of the time, his go-to excuse was that I only played cheap characters and used unfair tactics. He would insist that I wasn't actually good at the game. He would whine that in a tournament like the ones he participated in, I would have no chance of winning. What's cheap characters? What's unfair tactics? They're all programmed into the game, bitch. If I want to turn up spam with Peach, I'm gonna do it until I get him a bomb and I'm gonna blow that ass up. That's my unfair tactic. Deal with it. Back when I was still in doormat mode, I tried my best to ignore his little jabs. I even let him win occasionally so that he wouldn't rage quit. But by now, I had grown a sturdy spine. Don't let him win. Don't do that. Sometimes kids need to learn a tough lesson. You know what I mean? My friends, even my children, will beat me in a video game when they earn it. Legitimately. And then the student becomes the master and I have to put my controller down forever. Scary. I mean, sure, my spine was made of paper mache, okay, so not as sturdy, and it would likely break or bend at the slightest provocation, but I grew it myself, and damned if I wasn't gonna use it. That's right, the more you use it, the stronger it gets, isn't that right? Alright, Hulkbeard, I snapped after being subjected to yet another of his whiny tirades. Choose a character for me. I will play whoever you want, and you will still lose. I don't think Pichu is in Brawl. Probably Jigglypuff is the easiest one to beat, quote unquote. Hulkbeard, though momentarily stunned by my outburst, quickly regained his composure. Any character? He sneered, a glint in his beady eyes. Yes, I replied. Any character. I'll even let you pick the stage. Fine then, he gloated, his lips twisting into a grin. You pick Jigglypuff. I'll be Meta Knight. Called this shit out. I probably even could have told you he's gonna pick Meta Knight. I played Brawl for a minute. For those who don't know Super Smash Bros. Though, Jigglypuff is widely considered to be one of the worst characters in the game. At least in Brawl, she's pretty fucking legit in Ultimate. Meta Knight, on the other hand, is often banned in competitive play. And again, in Ultimate, they evened him out. Ultimate is the Ultimate. I was mostly playing Melee up until Ultimate came out, and then all of a sudden I'm like, just never look back again. As promised, I mopped the fucking floor with Hulkbeard, which only made him angrier. Oh, fucking bullshit! He howled, hurling his controller at the floor, or more accurately, hurling my controller at the floor, and I heard a loud crack as it bounced off the carpet. Why couldn't you just use your stupid Cro-Magnon forehead again, Hulkbeard? What the fuck, Hulkbeard? I yelled, jumping to my feet. Don't fucking break my shit! Hulkbeard glared at me and opened his mouth as though he was about to speak. No! I interrupted. Get that rolled up newspaper that we used on Osgood. Bad! That's bad!
No. No.
Fuck off! Go home! I can't fucking deal with this right now! Hulkbeard gawped at me. I'd gone beyond just telling him no. Now I was telling him what to do. I said, go home! I yelled, slamming my fist into the coffee table. Hulkbeard muttered something that I couldn't quite make out, and shuffled off. About a day or so later, he apologized for his outburst, and I, like an idiot, accepted his apology. Saying sorry ain't gonna fix my shit. You come to me with a new controller, and then you say sorry, and then I will think about it, okay? Otherwise, just, go home and stay home. I don't want to fucking see ya. Exit stage left is our second sub-story. Though he was far more charismatic and quick-thinking than any beard ought to be, Thespian admittedly had a few beardy traits of his own. Oh no, side tangent! See, Thespian came from money. From what I understand, his father worked in real estate and was very good at his job. He allowed Thespian to live on what was very likely a 7-figure property, rent-free, on one condition: that Thespian continued to attend classes. Oh, that's way too much, isn't it? He's gonna turn into a lazy slob. To this day, I'm really not certain how his roommate Karen Beard fit into this fucking equation. There certainly wasn't anything romantic between the two of them. She didn't have the right equipment to catch Thespian's eye. But at some point before I knew either of them, she moved in with Thespian and lived with him the entirety of the time that I knew him. At some point, I began playing D&D with the two of them and the other DM. Oh my goodness, this mysterious other DM, who could it be? I mean, that's his name. That is a pretty weird relationship. I guess maybe Karen Beard said, hey, I'm in trouble, blah, 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 and Thespian's trying to play the hero or some shit. Whether that's sexually motivated or not, I mean, I guess it isn't, since OP says it's not, but a little bit sus, that's all I'm saying. I'm not going too far into detail, but trust me when I say that there was some serious drama around that game, and most of it due to Karen Beard. There's little doubt in my mind that she contributed to Thespian's depression, and that, in turn, contributed to Thespian eventually failing his classes. Oh, Dad's mad. He gotta get kicked out of the house. As for how I knew that he was depressed, I chanced to look in his room once, prior to a session of D&D. You don't construct a neckbeard nest like his if you're feeling mentally well. Fact. I should know. Yep, me too, OP. I definitely lived through it for a while. Anyways, around the time things really started falling apart with Hulkbeard, Thespian's father found out that he was no longer attending class, and worse, he had been lying about that fact. I wasn't privy to the conversation that the two of them had, of course. All I know is that, almost without warning, Thespian was moving back home. Yep, Dad's mad. With the exception of Hulkbeard, everyone was sad to see him go. The day of his departure, his many friends gathered to see him off with dinner at his favorite sushi restaurant. Then a few of us went back to my place for one final session of D&D. I had a lot of fun in your game, OP, Thespian said, as the final session concluded. Take care of yourself, okay? Keep in touch, and don't let Hulkbeard drag you down, oh my god! And with that, Thespian departed. This wasn't the last that I would hear from him, however, and fortunately for me, it wasn't the last that Hulkbeard would hear from him, either. Oh, does Thespian deliver the finishing blow? I would have thought that it would have been OP with his, newly found rage. But all that remains to be seen. Up next, we've got Edge Boy, the Gun Lord. Another Hulkbeard classic. Probably a D&D character. Oh boy.
I'm gonna be an artificer, and my artificer makes guns, so we can just set up turrets everywhere.
Wow, what a cool and original idea. I can't wait to play with this guy. Anyways, although he was no longer in my weekly game, Hulkbeard was still a player in my monthly one. Unsurprisingly, his euphoria was proving far too much to handle there. It started, as his D&D related tantrums always did, with an idea for a new character. And just like with Snowflake Bot before him, Hulkbeard didn't even bother to check with me before he started rolling. I'll admit, his character concept was actually relatively interesting. A drow elf assassin that stole some forbidden technology from what was essentially a machine cult, and then fled to join the Dungeoneering mercenary company. There was just one little problem. He wanted his drow to wield guns. In fact, he had designed this character entirely around the concept of guns and the wielding of them. It doesn't seem like a big deal, right? I guess not if you make like some reload mechanics that sort of balance it or something like that. But you know he doesn't want it to be balanced. He wants to be the the protagonist, the main character, of course. Here's the issue though. Back when he was still playing, Thespian had come to me with a similar concept. He wanted to play a roguish character who was essentially an homage to Captain Jack Harkness of Torchwood fame. I apologetically told him that the technology for firearms didn't exist. Like an adult, Thespian said he understood and set to work on a different character. No harm, no foul. Well, how do you suppose Hulkbeard responded? Not well. Not with a tantrum, actually, believe it or not. No, by now he realized that he wouldn't get anywhere with stubborn hostility. Instead, he changed his tactics and went the other way that neckbeards do, throwing himself the mother of all pity parties.
Oh, I just wanted my dark elf to wield guns. Oh, my life is so sad since I can't have my dark elf wield guns.
Well, you stupid. Hulkbeard said that
everybody hated him, and he didn't have any friends outside of D&D, and one of the only friends he had left was treating him like shit, and he was depressed, and he was alone, and he was unlovable, and gaming was the only thing that brought him any joy, and he couldn't bear to have that taken from him too.
I'm not saying you can't join, I'm saying you can't join with your fucking try-hard edgelord character. Roll something else! Somehow, he knew that if he could just make me feel bad enough for him, I would give him what he wanted. And he was right. Much to my shame, I caved. Oh, come on, OP! You were doing so well! And thusly, Edgeboy the Gunlord was born. Oh, God. And because Hulkbeard was to role-playing, what Nicolas Cage is to acting, Edgeboy was just like Snowflake Pot, and not Deadpool. And I imagine just like every other character that he had ever played ever in life. With one exception. Because he misread one of his character traits, he insisted that Edgeboy was able to automatically detect any hidden objects within 15 feet. Naturally, this led to yet another argument, and eventually the Greek pulled out the sourcebook and found the ability Hulkbeard was babbling about. Let's see, an elf who passes within 5 feet of a secret or concealed door is entitled to a search check to notice it as if they were actively looking for it, he read. They also get a +2 bonus to search. I have no idea where you got the idea that you had some sort of true seeing.
What?
Snapped Hulkbeard.
Let me see that.
The Greek shrugged and handed the book to Hulkbeard, who stared at the page, brow furrowed for a good minute.
Oh,
He mumbled sheepishly.
I guess I misread the rule.
Gee, you think? The rest of the session was uncomfortably tense. How can you make up some shit like that and not assume that people are gonna call you out on it? They're like, yeah, 15 feet, I can see anything. What? No, bro. Learn to read. Comprehension is key, that's all I'm saying. An attempt was made, our third story. By this point, I was nearing the end of my rope. Not for the first time, I had attempted to reason with the beard, and not for the first time, my efforts fell on deaf ears. It likely didn't help matters that, given how I had bought into Hulkbeard's "poor me" routine, I was especially cautious about how I approached him this time. OP, look, don't take this the wrong way, but there's something I think you should look over. It's the same D&D for Dummies book that you recommended to me. Ooh, snap. Flip reverse it. Look on page 276. The animosity and drama between us needs to stop. It's honestly gotten bad enough that I'm not even sure that I want to play anymore. I'm on the verge of just quitting D&D entirely. Hulkbeard.
You're pointing out the section on don't be a poor loser, correct?
Oh. OP. I'm pointing out generally the whole do's and don'ts section. I admit that I've made mistakes, but this constant arguing has to stop. We're constantly at each other's throats. Hulkbeard.
This is getting real stupid, you know that, right? And D&D isn't all that special to me or anything. Hell, my characters got butt whipped tons of times before your campaign. Characters. All I'm really saying is that my arguments aren't just whining. You're doing things poorly and or wrong.
OP. That's a very insulting way of putting it. Hulkbeard.
If you refuse to acknowledge this, I'll simply stop playing. I'm done pussyfooting. You refuse to acknowledge that some things simply are hard to kill. You want to hurt my character.
Please quit the game, Hulkbeard. Please. Everybody will thank you for just quitting. Then, no bad blood either, because you pulled the trigger on yourself, right? Until he comes back and says, oh, I'm sorry, can we fucking rewind time? No. OP says, I don't want to hurt your character, though. I treat your characters the same as everyone else. I don't play favorites. Hulkbeard.
You killed Snowflake Bot.
OP. What? Hulkbeard.
You forced him back into the fight. He was trying to retreat.
OP. That was the Greek that did that. Hulkbeard.
But you let it happen, though. Your NPC agreed to it.
OP, he was acting in character. The rest of the party agreed too. Hulkbeard,
You're still railroading. You don't let anyone do what they want. It's just bad DMing.
OP, there's a better way of saying I don't like what you're doing here than simply saying you're doing it wrong. Hulkbeard,
I know.
OP, or saying that I'm running the game poorly. Hulkbeard,
Dude, I've tried to explain better ways to do things. You constantly dismiss it as me just being whiny. I've consulted with people who have done D&D for years. Organizers at major events. I'm not just bullshitting.
do not quote the ancient magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. OP, I have to go. I have an exam in the morning. Hulkbeard,
I talked to the DM that I'm playing at local game shop, and he says you sound really inexperienced. Look, I'm willing to give your game one more shot. I have an idea for the weekly game. I can even run it by you first.
how generous of him. I accepted, of course, after warning the other players that Hulkbeard would be at the session 2 weeks from now. On some level, I was holding out some vain hope that our friendship could be salvaged. Good fucking luck. That's all I got to say. I'll also admit that I don't exactly come off smelling like roses from the above. The passive-aggressive ultimatum from me, the implication that I would quit and it would be Hulkbeard's fault was a pure dick move. And I'm not proud of that. I mean, both of you threw out an ultimatum. He's like, I don't want to play, and you're like, I don't want to play. Good. Nobody fucking play. D&D is over. Wrap it up. But regardless, OP is not proud of that. But honestly, I still felt bad for Hulkbeard. Don't worry, though. He managed to handily destroy the last shred of goodwill that I had left. But we'll get into it in the next chapter. Oh, snap. Looking forward to that. I think the points that I enjoy the most in the story are the points that take place in real life, where Hulkbeard is trying to play Mr. Steal Your Girl or smashing a game controller on his face or the floor. That hits home with me pretty hard. The D&D style stuff, I mean, I enjoy a good RPG horror story every now and again, but to me, it always feels kind of inconsequential because, yeah, I can just walk away. I don't feel bad walking away, although I think other people might feel differently, particularly if you've spent a lot of time with the group or the character. But if it ain't working out, guess what? I'll move on. I got better shit to do with my time. No D&D is better than bad D&D. That's how I look at it. So I hope that, OP and Hulkbeard will both quit, not necessarily permanently, but to find groups that fit what they want to do just a little bit better. You guys don't have to play together, even if you are quote-unquote friends. But the fact that this kind of initiated the falling out just means that the toxic friendship can end that much sooner. I guess all's well that ends well. You know what I'm saying? I did enjoy this episode. I hope you guys did as well. I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe. If you did, maybe share the video around. This is the real MVP play. Check out all them links in the description. Playlist, plugs, podcasts. You know how it goes. We've also got social medias. Yes, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. Come on through. Say hello. I'd appreciate it. Oh, and we can't forget my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. I would like to thank them all, as I do every video, so thank you very much. Robert Waits, Baron Wanky Pants, Jarhead Jerry, Ooh Rah, River Jerry, blah, 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 blah. DSM Kirby, Captain Clown Jerry, Honk Honk, Aaron W, Twisted Child, Delicious Jelly Donut, Cinnamon Susie, Fire Drake, Giggle Jerry, Hey Jerry, Livison, Mr. Anime Bang Fan, Silent Revolver, the Jerry Behind the Slaughter, watch out, Magdalene Marshall Thorn Rose Cherish Kitsune, Jerry Satori, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Roustower, Princess Jerry, Anunnaki, Asian Persuasion Jerry, yeah, Assassin Pug Jerry, Pow Pow, Xen Grizzly, Bailey Buckles, hey, that's the new one, welcome, Bearded Jerry, wash that guy, Bitch Gremlin, Blameless Fish, Blip Bloop Jerry, Bleep Blop, Camille Sarah, I think that's new as well. Welcome. We got a lot of new people joining us. I love that. Commander Jerry Tank, Dinosaur Nightlight, Disposable Waifu, Aaron Lennox, Gypsy, Hadrian BR, Heathcliff, a pimp named Jay Crisp, JM Coon, Jerry with an I. That is a different Jerry. Jerry, the original Jerry. The Jerry that's more Jerry's than other Jerry's. I don't know about that one, Chief. John Hero, Simboofacus give you a boofa is free, Miss Monday, Lexi Loves JoJo, Lord Lido, Jackets Rule, Melgar the Destroyer, Mint Chip, Mirthful Baker, Mr. Jerry Prime, More Than Meets the Eye. My boy that one, Nick, Natari, Lady Nix, Nightmare Jerry, Spoopy, Origami Jerry, gotta fold them all, Phantom of the Pines, Princess Jerrykins, and Jerry Beth. Sidestep, ReddX's favorite, Marble Jerry. It's like picking between your kids. What is that? Rosemary Miller, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Staples Jerry. Stephanie Goodner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tapioca Boogaloo, Tato Ferret, 10-Ton Monster, That Dunka Bug, The One True Fusky, Treeberg, Wilmax, yet another different Jerry. That is a fact. Zero Blacktail, Kira M, Kitsikin, Redwind, Goose S. Honk, Naga Viper, Saints Blessing, John Indoors, 211 Jerry, and a normal Jerry. I mean, 211 Jerry is a normal Jerry, but it's a different normal Jerry. Amara, Aroxer's Banished Knight, Barbushka's Irradiated Jam, Cake Jerry, the original different Jerry, California Jerry Girl, Yum Yum, Carrot Jerry, good for your eyes, Chris Meska, Cinnamon Bunny Dog, Crip Jerry's, oh no, they coming, rising from the grave, Cuban Jerry, smoke it, but I think Cuban cigars are illegal, so don't do that if you're in the States. Defon Jerry, Ghost of Alpha, Jerry Bean, Yum Yum, Jerry the Great, he's so great, Jerry Zilla, KJW Kajow, Crafty Kit Kat, Lepeachy Jerry, ooh, Life of a Guardian, Little Ann Woods, maybe next time, Midnight Sun, Milkfed Gimp, Miss Duchess, or Jerry Cam, Princess Rosalie Jerry, congrats on the marriage, Ghosty, Ryga, Raptor Art, Silurian King, that's a new one, hey, Snom Jerry, that's Snary. I think Snom's a Pokemon, isn't it? Another Poke Jerry. Wow! Truly we are catching them all. Spoonie the Rogue, Steamboat Kelly, the Necro Jerry Con, the forbidden tome of all Jerry lore. Jesus, don't look inside. The original Jerry, not the original Jerry, the most different Jerry, maybe the most different Jerry. And of course, Token Black Jerry. Token Black Jerry. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact. And it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. You guys are killing me with all this Jerryness. So many new people joined on the Patreon. I thank you so very, very much. I do hope some other people will consider joining, but if you can't do it right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoyed today. Maybe like, watching some more ReddX videos. It's a good idea. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I shall see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.